You know, our go-to guy on that, of course,
Yeah.
is a president and CEO of a really good company. He's the chairman, president, and CEO of First Wave Biopharma, firstwavebioPharma.com, FWBI, one of my favorite guys. And as long as he'll come on the air with us, I will keep having him on the air with us.
Oh, good.
But James Sapirstein is his name. James, remember, and we go to you all the time, not only for what you guys are doing, with respect to the drug therapies you guys are developing, but also for COVID, because you are at the tip of the spear. You hear what's going on. Did all that hand washing and stuff, since we didn't know any better, did we do the right thing, or was that a waste of time? Or talk to us about the I guess the generational sort of change we've seen over the last 2 years in this pandemic.
Well, thanks for having me again, and I'm glad that Rusty's washing his hands. I think it's a good thing. If you think about it, flu's way down, colds are way down.
Mm-hmm.
Just normal washing of the hands has helped keep other infectious diseases at bay. So I think it's a good thing that people got into that habit.
James, will you wear a mask in perpetuity now, do you think, as pandemic goes to endemic?
No, I don't think so. Look, I live in a very open state. Florida's been open for, virtually the whole pandemic.
Sure.
I think when you're in small spaces like elevators and you're on top of people who are vulnerable, I think it's always good to have a mask in your pocket and put it on as respect to people that you don't want to make to get sick. But I think people who are relatively healthy, been vaccinated, I don't really think the mask is going to be here forever.
I heard the plexiglass things they were putting up everywhere actually helped concentrate that cootie into one place and really
so maybe not such a good idea?
The opposite effect.
Like the salad bar sneeze guard,
Yes.
which is exactly what it was.
Which is always right there, but we're all figured out.
James, I think the first thing you ever said to us on television when we first met you about 6 months ago was that the need for COVID therapeutics were really, really important because we're not depending solely on vaccines. Has the Omicron sort of, proven that point more than anything?
I think you're absolutely right. And also even the therapeutics that are approved, the Pfizer and Merck, there's not enough supply. So a friend of mine who is immune compromised, quite frankly, he has COVID. He had a liver transplant. Now he has COVID. He can't even get the antibody. So they're trying to do a drop shipment for him for the Pfizer product. It's not available in Texas. It's a problem. We need therapeutics and we need them fast.
Well, I think that's a piece of it. So let's talk about First Wave Biopharma, because that's a big piece of what you guys are doing. Talk about what 2022 looks like for you, and let's talk about the arc of that story with the FDA and where the drugs are at right now.
Well, we finished our study, 157 patients enrolled. Right now, we're transporting all the data from our clinical sites to our central sites so we can start evaluating it. Our last patient finishes the study February 26th, I believe, and then 45 days after that, I better have some data from my people.
I think, and I think the other piece is some of your press releases of late have shown that you guys are really moving the ball down the field. Is this something that surprised you, or are you guys right around where you're supposed to be right now, in your opinion?
I think we are where we're supposed to be, but we were a little delayed. What people don't get, I guess, in the country that I'll tell your viewers about, COVID has been a very competitive sport. There were over 1,000 companies studying the disease, and we were all competing for patients as much as there were so many patients. But if you're Merck or Pfizer or a large company, you're paying a lot of money for those studies. You get those patients before a first wave does. So it was indeed a competitive sport. We did a lot of traveling to make sure that we got our patients in the trial.
His name's James Sapirstein, of course. James Sapirstein is the chairman, president, and CEO of First Wave Biopharma. Their stock symbol FWBI. You can go to firstwavebio.com. James, talk to us about your drug, niclosamide, because it has translated from treatment for GI symptoms to maybe a long hauler, a COVID long hauler drug. Talk about maybe how that works and what you're seeing.
Well, it would be serendipity if it works for us that way, because we were hoping that we would be able to treat long haulers. We're seeing that about a little bit more than 20% of patients who've had COVID for 6 months or longer are suffering from GI effects such as diarrhea, nausea. and hopefully the drug works there. We're looking at our patients 3 to 4 weeks out. So if we're able to show that we stop this evolution, that's a really good thing for us.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it would be really great news for you guys as a company. Talk about what you can talk about, because as a CEO of a public company, obviously you're not allowed to say everything, but talk about what you can say regarding where you think the company's going to be with respect to some of these therapies, and is there new stuff on the way? Because you have other first wave buyout programs. You've got the checkpoint inhibitor, colitis, and you've got the pancreatic enzyme insufficiency drug. Where do you think that's going to happen here in 2022?
Yeah, well, the UP trial, which is ulcerative proctitis, is going well. It's going on in Europe. So we're looking now to expand into another site in Europe. Europe, because of Omicron, has slowed down significantly in terms of recruiting patients. The checkpoint colitis, we have an open IND. We're waiting on that. Our investigators are waiting. Right now, I'm just saving capital.
Yeah.
I'm sure your investors are looking at the biotech index in the space, and it's been rancid, to say the least. Everything's been red. So we're very careful not to raise capital in this environment.
Yeah, because
once we do, we'll advance our program.
Yeah, exactly right. And thank you so much, James. Because one of the reasons he's saying is when you raise capital in a selling environment, you're giving more equity away than you should, and that's what's going on here. James Sapirstein is his name, Chairman, CEO, President of First Wave Biopharma.